tomorrow at the death of advisor AF Hassan. ACC launches investigation against Sheikh Hasina and Shojib Wajid Joy on charges of laundering $300 million to New York and London. Present government working to make the Bay of Bengal a hub for sustainable and inclusive connectivity, says Foreign Affairs advisor. World Bank signs $900 million agreement with Economic Relations Department ERD to maintain economic prosperity. Israel and Hamas close to reaching an agreement on ceasefire in Gaza, setting the release of Israeli hostages as one of the main conditions. And Bangladesh become runner-up in under-19 Women's T20 Asia Cup, losing to India by 41 runs. Assalamu alaikum. This is Shamim Khan, welcoming you all to News at 10. Those were the headlines. We now move on to the news in details. The Council of Advisors adopted a condolence motion at the death of civil aviation, tourism and land advisor AF Hassan. The condolence motion was adopted at a special meeting of the Council held at the Chief Advisor's office today. Forest, Environment and Climate Change Advisor Sayyida Rizwana Hassan placed the condolence motion at the meeting, which was adopted unanimously. Speaking at the meeting, Rizwana said Hassan Arif would be buried at Mirpur Martyrs Intellectual Graveyard at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow, next to the grave of Beer Shrestha Hamidur Rahman. At the onset of the meeting, 1 minute silence was observed in respect to the memory of advisor Hassan Arif. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus and other advisors paid tribute to the late advisor. The Chief Advisor said, "Today I am recalling many small utterances. Arif always reminded me we are of the same age. He behaved naively like children." The Chief Advisor said if Hassan Arif saw any conflict, he would have appeared to resolve it. "This wonderful man has left us," Chief Advisor lamented. Other advisors also commemorated Hassan Arif's working life in the meeting. Meanwhile, the government has declared a day of state mourning tomorrow in honor of AF Hassan Arif. The announcement was made through a Gazette notification today. As part of the observance, national flag will be flown at half-mast at all government, semi-government, autonomous institutions, educational establishments and both government and private buildings across the country. Bangladesh missions abroad will also observe the mourning day. Besides, special prayers will be held at mosques nationwide, seeking eternal peace for the departed soul. Other religious institutions will organize prayers and rituals in accordance with the respective faiths. The Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, kicked off investigation against former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and her son, Shojib Wajid Joy, on charges of siphoning off $300 million to New York and London. The ACC formed a 5-member committee to investigate the allegations of corruption against them in different mega projects in the past 15 years. This committee will be able to freeze or seize the bank accounts and assets of Sheikh Hasina, Sheikh Rehana, Shojib Wajid Joy and the family members during the investigation. There are allegations against them of siphoning off Taka 80,000 crore from different projects, including Taka 59,000 crore in Rupur nuclear power plant. In the meantime, the Anti-Corruption Commission has taken into cognizance the information on allegations of corruption in 8 projects, including Asrayan project. On September 3rd, NDM Chairman Bobby Hajjaj filed a writ with the High Court seeking directives for investigation against Sheikh Hasina and her family members on charges of corruption. On December 15, after hearing on the writ, the High Court issued a rule as to why the inactivity of ACC over allegations will not be declared illegal. Anti-Corruption Commission ACC Chairman Dr. Muhammad Abdul Momen informed that Sheikh Hasina's $300 million money smuggling is being investigated and ACC will take measures in this regard on the basis of specific evidence. He made the disclosure while exchanging views with newsmen at the ACC office today. The ACC chairman further said that corruption was found at different places of the state. He urged the journalists to highlight those incidents of corruption through the news reports. The new chairman of ACC assured that the organization would be journalist-friendly as much as possible. Foreign advisor Muhammad Tawheed Hussain said the current government wants to turn Bay of Bengal into a hub of sustainable and inclusive connectivity. He said Bay of Bengal will play roles in geopolitics alongside the global economy. The advisor was speaking at a seminar in the capital's BIISS auditorium today. Japanese ambassador to Bangladesh Iwama Kiminori, among others, was present. The Japanese ambassador said his country always stood beside Bangladesh as a development partner. The cooperation of Japan for the economic and political development in Bangladesh will continue in the days to come, he added. Information and Broadcasting and Post and Telecommunications Advisor Nahid Islam informed that Rahat Fateh Ali Khan is eager to work on music with Bangladesh. He said this during a meeting with Rahat Fateh Ali Khan at the Secretariat today. The advisor said that during the meeting, he did not discuss anything on diplomatic issues, rather discussed cultural issues. The information advisor further said that Rahat Fateh Ali Khan will perform at BPL inaugural program tomorrow. Holding of such cultural function was also needed after the revolution, he pointed out. Later, Fateh Ali Khan mentioned that Bangladesh is like his motherland. The music maestro also said that Pakistan always supports Bangladesh. He said that in future he will work on Bangladesh music. Deputy High Commissioner of Pakistan Embassy Muhammad Wasif, Information and Broadcasting Secretary Mahbooba Farzana and Secretary of Post and Telecommunications Division Dr. M. Shafiqur Rahman were present on the occasion. Economic Relations Division ERD signed a $900 million agreement with World Bank to strengthen financial sector and climate-tolerant development, increasing city services and establishing good governance. The agreement includes one of $500 million and another one of $400 million. Secretary Economic Relations Division Shahriar Qadik Siddiq and Additional Secretary Fareed Aziz signed the agreement on behalf of Bangladesh at the Economic Relations Division auditorium today. On the other hand, Abdullah Sheikh, World Bank's country director for Bangladesh and Bhutan, signed the deal on behalf of World Bank. A meeting with Bangladesh Administrative Service Association will be held during the current week before finalizing recommendations of Public Administrative Reform Commission. Senior Secretary of Public Administration Mohammad Mukhlisur Rahman informed this to newsmen after meeting the association members at the Secretariat today. He informed that the objective of the government is to go ahead, prioritizing people's interest and to keep the government stable. Earlier, written demands were handed over to the Senior Secretary on behalf of Bangladesh Administrative Service Association. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir said there is an opportunity to build the country in a democratic way again. He said this at a rally organized by BNP in Panchgor in the afternoon. Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir said, if given the opportunity to vote, people will elect the right people for themselves. That is why BNP wants elections. BNP outlined reforms long ago as it wants reforms, he added. Mirza Fakhrul said, fugitive Sheikh Hasina is conspiring from India. Attempts are being made to put the country in danger by creating confusion. We have to stand against this conspiracy. He also commented that false propaganda is being spread about Bangladesh. Now, international news. Talks to reach a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas are 90% complete, but key issues remain and that need to be bridged. A senior Palestinian official involved said one of the main sticking points is the continued Israeli military presence in the Philadelphia corridor, a strategically important strip of land in southern Gaza along the border with Egypt. The Palestinian official shared details of discussions being held in Doha, which include potential creation of a buffer zone several kilometers wide along the length of Israel's border with Gaza. Israel would retain a military presence within this area, the official said. With these issues resolved, a three-stage ceasefire could be agreed within days, they added. The deal would include an exchange of 20 Palestinian prisoners for every female soldier released in the first of three stages of the ceasefire. The names of the prisoners are yet to be agreed but would be chosen from around 400 names who are serving prison sentences of 25 years or more in Israel. These are not thought to include senior Fatah leader Marwan Barghouti, whose release Israel is expected to veto. Israeli hostages would be released in stages, as it is believed that Hamas still need to locate some of the missing hostages. Of the 96 hostages still held in Gaza, 62 are assumed by Israel to be still alive. Meanwhile, Gaza's health ministry said Israeli strikes killed at least 32 Palestinians and wounded 54 others across the Gaza Strip in the last 24 hours. Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 45,259 Palestinians and wounded 107,627 since October 7, 2023. Israel's military said it had failed to intercept a projectile launched from Yemen that landed in Tel Aviv, with National Medical Service saying 16 people were likely wounded. On its Telegram channel, the Israeli military said one projectile launched from Yemen was identified and unsuccessful interception attempts were made. Megan David Adam, AMDA, Israel's Emergency Medical Service, said 16 people were injured. MDA teams provided medical care to 16 individuals who were mildly injured by glass shards from shattered windows in nearby buildings due to the impact of the strike, the statement said. Yemen's Iranian-backed Houthi rebels repeatedly launched missile attacks against Israel since the war in Gaza began more than a year ago, most of which have been intercepted. In return, Israel struck multiple targets in Yemen, including ports and energy facilities in areas controlled by Houthis. Syria's new rulers appointed a foreign and defense minister, the official Syrian news agency Sana reports. As they seek to build international relations 2 weeks after Bashar al-Assad was ousted, the ruling General Command on Saturday named AF Hassan al-Shibani as foreign minister. A source in the new administration told the news agency that this step comes in response to aspirations of Syrian people to establish international relations that bring peace and stability. Morhaf Abu Qasra was named defense minister in the interim government, an official source told media. Abu Qasra, who is also known by the nom de guerre Abu Hassan 600, is a senior figure in the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham HTS group, which led the opposition forces that forced out al-Assad. Incoming U.S. President Donald Trump on Saturday slammed what he called unfair fees for U.S. ships passing through Panama Canal and threatened to demand control of the waterway be returned to Washington. He also hinted at China's growing influence around the canal, a worrying trend for American interests as U.S. businesses depend on the channel to move goods between Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The Panama Canal, which was completed by the United States in 1914, was returned to the Central American country under a 1977 deal signed by Democratic President Jimmy Carter. Panama took full control of the canal in 1999. It was solely for Panama to manage, not China or anyone else, Trump said. We would and will never let it fall into the wrong hands. He continued that if Panama could not ensure the secure, efficient and reliable operation of the channel, then we will demand that Panama Canal be returned to US in full and without question. Authorities in Panama did not immediately react to Trump's post. A Myanmar ethnic rebel group captured a military regional command in Rakhine State, it said, in what would be a major blow to the junta. The Arakan Army AA had completely captured the Western Regional Command at ANN on Friday after weeks of fighting, the group said in a statement on its Telegram channel. ANN would be the second regional military command to fall to ethnic rebels in 5 months and a huge blow to the military. Fighting rocked Rakhine State since the Arakan Army attacked security forces in November last year, ending a ceasefire that had largely held since the push. Arakan Army fighters seized swaths of territory in the state that is home to China and India-backed port projects and all but cut off state capital Sittwe. Myanmar's military has 14 regional commands across the country, with many of them currently fighting established ethnic rebel groups or newer People's Defense Forces that have sprung up to battle the military's 2021 coup. Now, weather. Met Office in its weather forecast at 6 p.m. tomorrow said weather may remain dry with temporary partly cloudy sky over the country. Light to moderate fog may occur at places over the country during midnight till morning. Night temperature may fall slightly over the country. Day temperature may rise slightly over Dhaka, Khulna, Burishal and Chattogram division, and it may remain nearly unchanged elsewhere over the country, said the Met Office. Now, news on sports. Bangladesh finished runners-up in the Under-19 Women's T20 Asia Cup after losing to India by 41 runs in Kuala Lumpur today. Bangladesh won the toss and invited India to bat first. Junior Tigresses were able to stop India for a short run in the control bowling. India's innings stopped at 117 runs in 20 overs for 7 wickets. In reply, Bangladesh women's team managed to score 76 runs for all in 18 overs 3 balls. India's Gangati Trisha was adjudged player of the match for her 52 runs. Trisha was also named player of the tournament. Bangladesh national team cricketers returned home after about 1.5 months, completing the full series of 2 tests, 3 ODIs and 3 T20 against West Indies. Nahid Rana, Hassan Mahmood, Zakir Ali Onik and Taskin Ahmed arrived in the first phase on December 22. They were accompanied by Bangladesh team's senior assistant coach Mohammad Salauddin. The rest of the team members and coaching staff are expected to arrive in the country on Monday morning. Despite losing the first test of the series, Bangladesh drew the second test with the bowling performance of Nahid Rana. After that, however, the ODI series did not go well for Bangladesh. Mehdi Hassan Miraj's team lost 3 matches in the ODI format, but in the T20 series, Bangladesh beat Caribbean in the 3 matches. This is one of the best successes of Bangladesh in T20 history. And now to end the bulletin, a recap of the top stories. Government to observe 1-day state mourning tomorrow at the death of advisor AF Hassan. ACC launches investigation against Sheikh Hasina and Shoji Project Joy on charges of laundering $300 million to New York and London. Present government working to make the Bay of Bengal a hub for sustainable and inclusive connectivity, says Foreign Affairs advisor. World Bank signs $900 million agreement with Economic Relations Division ERD to maintain economic prosperity. Israel and Hamas close to reaching an agreement on ceasefire in Gaza, setting the release of Israeli hostages as one of the main conditions. And Bangladesh become runner-up in Under-19 Women's T20 Asia Cup, losing to India by 41 runs. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you indeed for joining us, and we invite you to watch our 11:30 Bangla News.